Good morning. Happy Thursday. I gotta fix my collar. Good morning. Happy Thursday. This is the 14th. Yes, this is the 14th day of July. This is season 4 of the Be Your Own Hero show, and I'm your host. I'm sekouwrites. HERO is an acronym that means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. It's a reciprocal action. Again, I'm your host, sekouwrites. I'm a professional creative. I do a lot of different things. I'm primarily, I would say, an author, a journalist, and a writer. That said, I'm also the creator of the Hero Ministry Movement, which is my effort to uplift and inspire people in general and the unhoused community in specific. That collar drives me crazy. I think I'm just going to take the blazer off today. Anyway, join me here Monday through Friday, 8:45 a.m. Central Time. Do your math for your local time zone, and you can listen to me talk about my journey of becoming my own hero. Shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me the space and the opportunity to talk about my journey. And that said, meaning New Thought Media Network is a 501c3 nonprofit. Please donate to them. Your donation is tax deductible. And let me just run their ad so you can find out more ways and reasons to donate. Here we go.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network, come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.
Okay, shout out to New Thought Media Network once again, and let's get into it. There's a lot of things I want to talk about, so I think today is going to go fast. Sekou Hero Charity Run. Today is day 409. I've been running every day, at least a mile a day for now, 409 days in a row. And let me play today's run report. And then I've got a little bit of information about a spirit animal. Well, if you watch closely, you'll see the spirit animal. So let me know if you see it. If you see the spirit animal in the video, drop it in the chat, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go. Hero Charity Run, day 409. Feeling a lot better today. I've been running every day, at least a mile a day for now, 409 days in a row. This is the Sekou Hero Charity Run. We are on mission. We are raising money for Back on My Feet nonprofit. They help the unhoused community better their lives by teaching them how to run. Very excited about their product offerings, their service, what they do for the unhoused community. So help me, help them. My goal is $3,650, which I want to raise, which I will raise by the end of this month, July. So please go to the link in my bio and donate, or go to herocharityrun.com. That's herocharityrun.com. Let's go. Part 2, run report. I'm just trying to get my miles back up. I'm still hovering around 5K, but I'm very excited that my pace today was faster than it was yesterday. It's not fast. It's not my normal pace, but it's faster than it was yesterday. It started off really slow and then crept up. So I'm happy for that. And you guys celebrate the small wins because they give you the confidence to push for the big wins. So right now, that's what it is. I'm going to get to these miles soon. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Hold me accountable. Later. Okay, so no spirit animal. No spirit animal. I realized as I was playing it that the spirit animal is in the other video. I'm not going to play the other video because I don't feel like I have a lot of time. So let me just explain. So today, well, often when I run, I encounter animals, especially during the pandemic. Lots of different animals. And so I've gotten in the habit of Googling the symbolism of that particular animal when I encounter it. So for example, I was running at Fisk University track a couple days ago, and a fox, yes, a fox came flying across the field. And I mean, I chose the word flying deliberately because it didn't even look like it was touching the ground. And I've never seen a fox run in person before, other than on TV. So in person, it looks like it's flying. Like it's much more graceful than I've heard it described in the media and on TV. It barely looked like it was touching the ground, and its tail. Okay, I'm going off on a tangent. Anyway, point is, I've been seeing lots of interesting animals. I've seen foxes, most dramatically a couple of days ago. I've seen skunks. I've seen bunnies. I've seen all kinds of animals. Anyway, this morning, was the first time I saw vultures. And not just one, but a whole pack of vultures. And vultures are not scary. So they were on my run path, and I saw that they weren't going to move. Like other birds, they see a runner coming, they get out the way. And this pack of vultures was just like, what you doing? You coming through here? All right. So what you gonna do? So I started like clapping and making noise while I was running to get them out of the way. And they moved a little bit. They kind of just like just kind of eased over to the edge. Like they didn't even fly away. So again, I'm getting off on a tangent, but I was struck by it because they really just barely moved enough for me to run by, and then they gathered again behind me. And so I looked up the symbolism for vultures, as I do with all these animals that I encounter on my runs. And the symbolism that struck me for vultures is the beginning of a new phase. Like vultures are often associated with death, right? Because they eat the carcass of dead animals. But spiritually speaking, in terms of symbolism, that means that you are growing into a higher version of yourself. Like this phase that you're in is ending, and now you're entering a new phase. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that was my spirit animal. And once again, I need to ratchet down because I've already gone off on a couple of tangents, and there's a lot of things I want to get to. So anyway, today's spirit animal for Sekou is the vulture. Okay, moving on, finally. Shout out to everyone who's donated thus far to the Hero Charity Run. Again, we're at, I guess I haven't said that yet today, but we're at 42% of the way to the goal. The goal is to raise $3,650 by the end of this month, July. It's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know it will happen. So, moving forward. Okay, Dice Roll Challenge. It's been an interesting week in terms of the Dice Roll Challenge. Monday, I rolled a 4. Tuesday, I rolled a 3. Wednesday, I rolled a 2. So if the pattern continues, I should roll a 1 today. So let's just see if we can get a 1 to keep the pattern going. Come on, 1. 1. What? The universe is talking to us. It fell off the computer and still rolled a 1. All right. So, universe is here with us. God is here with us. The spirits are here with us. The vultures are here with us. So, easy week. 4, 3, 2, and 1 thus far. Okay. So, moving on to the morning Zen. As you know, if you've been watching the show, this week I've been reading the book Think Your Way to Wealth. Think Your Way to Wealth by Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie. And they have created a number of books, the most popular of which is Think and Grow Rich, which I'm sure everyone has heard of. So today I want to read a little bit from the book about faith and obsession. So here we go. So this book, the format of this book, by the way, is a Q&A. So Napoleon Hill asked Andrew Carnegie a question, and then Andrew Carnegie's verbatim response is in the book. So it's very interesting because it's a more direct representation of what Andrew Carnegie says, as opposed to Think and Grow Rich, which is a paraphrasing of what he said. All right, so here we go. A person's brain. They use men a lot in this time period when the book was written because of the time period. But anyway, a man's brain is actually a piece of very fine machinery, intricately and accurately constructed to perform a definite function in the business of living. So basically, that means that a person's brain is a goal-seeking machine, but you got to feed it with goals. If you don't feed it with goals, it's not doing anything. But let me not get off on another tangent. Here's the next passage I want to read. Faith is the master gate through which an individual may give his brain full and free access to the universal power that operates it. In other words, faith unlocks the power of the brain. Next passage. Only those desires which take on the proportion of an obsession, a burning desire, will open that valve widely. Okay, so faith and obsession, that is what you need. Well, three things: a goal, a definite chief aim, as defined in this book, a definite chief aim, a master goal, a North Star. Faith that you're going to get there, and an obsession, a burning desire to get there. Goal, faith, obsession. Goal, faith, obsession. So you've heard me talk about this show, The Food That Built America. If you've been watching the show this week, you've been hearing me talk about this docuseries called The Food That Built America. The Food That Built America. It is fascinating, and I can see this embodied in every single story, every single success story about these huge conglomerates that we just take for granted now. They were started with a specific goal, faith, and obsession. The people who created these brands were obsessed about building these brands to their biggest possible potential. And we hear obsession, at least for me, it tends to have a negative connotation. But the point of this book and other books like it that I've read is that obsession can, and if used accurately, is your gateway to your success. Like, just wanting it isn't going to do it. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants a better life. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants success. The difference between wanting it and achieving it is getting obsessed. Stop being interested and get obsessed. That's the difference. Moving from being interested in being rich to obsessed with being rich. And I know right now there's people, right, you're out there right now pushing back against that word. Listen, it's not my word. I'm just telling you what Carnegie and Hill and all these other people have said. They're saying that it's got to be a burning desire. It can't just be a desire like, oh, I want to be rich. Yeah, that's just a wish. You've got to back that wish with action and emotion, and then it becomes something else. I highly recommend The Food That Built America. I'm learning so much about these brands that we all know. And because we know them so well, it's easy to not think about what it took to build them. Like, McDonald's is just McDonald's. But when you hear the story about how McDonald's became McDonald's, how Burger King became Burger King, how the McNuggets were invented, like, you will be shocked. So go check it out. Last thing I'm going to say about this, because I keep going off on these tangents, but last thing I'm going to say about this, did you know that the McNuggets to this day are in shapes? They're in 4 shapes. To this day, there are actually 4 shapes of physical things, of items that exist in the world, not random shapes. I give you one. You find the other 3 on your own. One of them is a boot, a cowboy boot. Next time you get chicken McNuggets, if you eat chicken McNuggets, look closely. They are always produced in 4 shapes. All right, watch the show. Anyway, when you watch the show, you will see what I just read from Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill exemplified. You got to have a goal. You got to have faith. And you got to have obsession to achieve the goal. Let's call it a burning desire because it sounds better, but it's the same thing. You have to have a burning desire to achieve the outcome. Okay, So all that said, I want to move on because I want to talk about money. There's so much to talk about today in terms of wealth and abundance. I am continuing to update the affirmation. So the new affirmation is this: every day, in every way, I'm getting healthier and wealthier. There's no way for the subconscious to push back against that. It's light, it's easy. Every day you're getting healthier, every day you're getting wealthier. So let's do it together. Say it with me. Every day, in every way, I'm getting healthier and wealthier. All right. I like the feeling tone of that one. Okay, just a quick reminder, if you only spend, you'll stay poor. If you only save, you'll stay middle class. You must invest to change your financial circumstances. Okay, that said, let's get into it. Yesterday was Wednesday. And you know what happened yesterday because I was talking about it all week. Yesterday, I think it's the Federal Reserve Bank, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure who does it. But the inflation rates came out yesterday. I want to make sure I emphasize inflation rates because if you just say rates, there's lots of different kinds of rates. There's mortgage rates. There's so many different kinds of rates. So I just want to make sure that you understand that we are talking about inflation rates. And I say it that way because I've gotten myself confused a couple times this week trying to find the right rates when I looked for it. So make sure if you look it up that you're looking for inflation rates. Anyway, inflation rates came out yesterday. Now, they were already high. I've said before here on the show that the Federal Reserve Bank is only responsible for keeping the rate of inflation around 2% right now. That's their mandate, 2%, meaning don't even eliminate it. Don't even try to eliminate it. Just keep it at 2%, which means that your money in your checking and savings account is always losing money to that invisible tax of inflation. But let me stick with this. So it was already high. It was 8.6% going into yesterday. And the experts were expecting 8.8%. Did you all check the news? Did you all check your news sources? Did you see what it came up to? 9.1%. I mean, in my mind, that's just 10. That's just 10%. Like, what? 10%. Now, if you saw it on the news, I don't even watch the news anymore. And if you've watched this show for a long time, you understand why. But if it was on the news, and I'm not sure whether it was or wasn't, I know the spirit in which that news was delivered. It was delivered in the spirit of hand-wringing and worry and, oh no, what are we going to do? Inflation rate is so high. I know, because again, I have worked in the media for a very long time, so I already know how the story was packaged, if it was presented at all. But let me tell you, I mentioned this before, I have turned off all the notifications on my phone except the essential notifications plus financial information. And let me tell you something. The people who are in the financial world did not have a moment of hand-wringing, not a moment of distress, not a moment of worry. It's the same information, but they responded to that information differently because this is what they do. And they're people like you and me, but their mindsets have been shifted by the information that they have. So where people like you and me that might just be watching the news and say, oh no, what are we going to do? These same folks are like, okay, it's high. And because it's high, I need to do X, Y, and Z to take care of myself. Just immediate. Like not even a thought. I'm telling you this because I saw the notifications come in and I read them and I was like, oh, wow, this is what they're doing. So let me give you a quick example. So I've mentioned financial instruments before. You might have heard me use that phrase. And that is the phrase that applies to all these different financial instruments, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, currencies, etc. They're all different kinds of financial instruments. Well, one of the many things that you can trade as a financial instrument is currency. You can trade one currency for another currency. It's called Forex, generally speaking, foreign exchange market. But you can exchange one currency for another. Okay, so yesterday, when the news came out, 9.1%, like very high inflation rate. So that means that the dollar is going down because, as we've said before in the show, inflation is an invisible tax. It erodes, it devalues the value of your dollar. So you could still be holding a dollar bill, but now that dollar bill is worth 9.1% less, right? 10%, let's just call it 10% less, right? Its value is eroding quickly. So when the people who are in the Forex market saw that, they knew that because the dollar is going down, the euro will go up because there is the dollar and the euro are called a pair in the Forex market. So there's the Forex market operates in different pairs. And one of the pairs is the dollar and the euro. So because of yesterday's news, the dollar went down, therefore the euro went up. So these folks just simply traded. They traded currency, and I'm not even sure how to say it efficiently because I don't know that much about it, but essentially they traded one for the other. I guess maybe they sold their dollars to get euros. I'm not quite sure how the seesaw works, but I know that it's a seesaw. And because the dollar went down, the euro went up, and they simply took advantage of that, and they made money yesterday. And I just want to emphasize that because I was watching it, and I have this let's just call it a monopoly money version of Forex. So this is a way that you can practice trading without any risk to you. It's literally monopoly money. It says you have $1,000, but you don't have any money. There's no money on the table. So I was like, oh, okay, this is what they were doing because of the inflation report. I'll try that tomorrow. And I went into it this morning, and it was too late. It was too late. Like the moves had already happened. So people made their moves yesterday as soon as the news came out. They didn't waste time wringing their hands. They didn't waste time being upset. This is just the ebb and flow of the economy. This is just how it works. So what's my point? I am not trying to scare anybody, first of all. Not trying to scare anybody. You don't know about Forex? Yeah, I barely know about it myself. But the point is that if you build your mindset to embody financial information, if you become financially literate, then the way that you react to the same information is forever changed. It's forever changed. You will no longer be worried and concerned about what the news says you need to be worried and concerned about. You're just going to take that as a data point. That is a data point. Okay, the Fed says new inflation rate is 9.1%. That's high. That's high, and so what do I do? What are the steps I take now to ensure my financial future? That's what people are doing every day, and that's what we need to do too. So that's a pause. That's a pause, and I'm going to move on to something else. And I'm going to say that for those of you that are interested, there are these apps on your phone that allow you to play with monopoly money, both in the stock market and in the Forex market. So they're called different things. They're sometimes called demo accounts. Sometimes it's called paper trading. Those are the two terms that I know well, but it's essentially what I described. It's a monopoly money account where they give you a fake $10,000 and then you can trade, quote unquote, in the markets to see what would happen if you would actually put money in the market. So I've done that. I've gotten a demo account for Forex, and I'm playing with it a little bit to see how that goes. Because as I've said here before, it has become clear to me that one of the clear ways to make revenue To generate revenue, to generate significant revenue is trading. One of the clear ways to generate significant revenue is trading, which is a good segue to tomorrow. Today is Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. You already know what's going down. Alphabet, also known as Google, is having a stock split. So I did the math early this morning. Current shares of Google are about $2,200. It's going to split. I divided that number by 20 because it's going to split one share into 20 shares. And I ended up with around $111. Now, you might have noticed that it had been going up, but it came back down to 111. Why? Because of the inflation rate announcement. Like, all these things are connected. They're all like ripple effects. So because of that announcement, the Google stock came down some. Because it came down some, I put a little more money in this morning. It's because it's cheaper. It's on sale. Because I was buying fractional shares of Google on Cash App at about $115 per share. You notice I'm already calculating the amount after the split. I'm not even talking about the pre-split price anymore. So after the split, it should have been around $115. So now it's down around 111. I put a little more in, and if I did my calculations right, I should end up with 3 shares now instead of just 2 shares tomorrow. Regardless, you need to know what you're doing. So if you have not done anything yet, here's the quick and dirty. Tomorrow, Google is going to split. 1 share will become 20 shares. It's just like the same size pizza, but it's divided up into smaller slices. You can therefore buy in now and get a share automatically when the stock splits. If you want to do that, you want to put in at least $111 based on today's math. I would overestimate and say like 125 on a fractional platform like Cash App or Robinhood, or I think Webull also offers fractional shares. So if you put in like $125 today, tomorrow when the stock splits, you'll automatically get a share and you'll be in before the feeding frenzy that happens tomorrow. Because when the share price comes down tomorrow from $2,000 to $111 or wherever it ends up being, there's going to be a feeding frenzy. All these people who could not afford to buy a share at $2,000 are going to jump in to buy one at 110, right? So you want to be in before that because your share will go up in value because so many people are jumping in. And it should continue to go up in value over the next year or so. Over the next year, it should be up by about 25%. Now, again, none of these figures are coming from me. I am simply repeating what I have read and studied. And this is all theoretical is not quite the right word because it has been proven over and over and over and over again. I checked out the Motley Fool, which it's a funny name for a very reputable financial source. And they've done the math all the way back to 1980. This is typically what happens when a stock splits. There's an immediate bump in price on the day of, and then over the next year, it stays up over 25%, which is better than the S&P 500, which typically performs at about 10% per year. So tomorrow's the day. This is your last day to do something. What you going to do? What you going to do? And one more caveat. I read in a couple places that the split will happen tomorrow, but it might not show up in your account until the next business day. So don't panic if the 20 shares don't show up in your account until Monday. But what you going to do? I just told you what I'm going to do. I put enough on the table that I should end up with 3 shares tomorrow. And then I'm going to wait and see what happens in terms of how much the ROI goes up on the day of. ROI in terms of return on investment. And I shouldn't even use that word, but I'm using that phrase because I'm thinking about, as I said before, selling some of the shares if they go up enough. But anyway, this is it, folks. This is it. Do something. All right, I've gone over time now. It's time for prayer time right now at 10:15 Eastern time. And then it's time for Sit with Rev Melissa at 10:30. So sorry, folks, that I went over time a little bit, but keep doing. And remember that now is better than perfect in terms of everything, but especially in terms of investing. So go invest today. Let me know what you guys decide to do. Later.